Hi guys, so I've been getting lots of questions as regards what I'm going to be discussing today. A lot of people have asked me what is the difference between each other and one another. I've been trying to avoid this because there's a lot of controversy surrounding it, but we're going to trash it out today and you're going to be able to decide which of them you want to go with. And of course, we're also going to be touching on when to use each other or themselves, yourselves, and all that. But let's start with defining all of this. So hi guys, welcome to Fluently Speaking with BOLA. My name is Bolanle Adeshoye, and today we're going to be talking about reflexive and reciprocal pronouns. Now, what are reflexive pronouns? When the subject and object of a sentence refer to the same person, then you're talking about reflexive pronoun, e.g., myself, herself, himself, yourself, themselves, and so on and so forth. So you're talking about the same person serving as the subject and the object. For instance, Jane wrote the note by herself. It means Jane wrote the note with her own hands. Now let's talk about reciprocal pronouns. When two or more people or things perform an action to another person, you're talking about reciprocal pronouns. So it's more like another person is involved. In reflexive, the same person performs the function of the subject and object. But for reciprocal pronouns, you have two or more people performing an action to each other or one another. Now the each other and one another is the bone of contention. Okay, so but before we go into the issue of each other and one another, let's deal with this issue of each other and themselves. That's the reciprocal pronoun of each other and the reflexive pronoun of themselves. I hear some people say Jane and Mike love themselves, when what they actually mean is that Jane loves Mike and Mike loves Jane. Now, to say that, what you should say is Jane and Mike love each other. It means Jane loves Mike and Mike loves Jane. But when you say Jane and Mike love themselves, you're saying that Jane loves herself, Mike also loves himself. In that way, you're not connoting or you're not describing the love they have towards each other. Another example, Bright and Bayo killed each other. In this case, you're saying that Bayo killed Bright and Bright killed Bayo. But when you say Bright and Bayo killed themselves, it means that they both committed suicide, meaning Bayo killed himself and Bright killed himself as well. So don't be caught or found saying Jane and Mike love themselves when what you actually mean is that Jane and Mike love each other. Now, before we move to the controversy between each other and one another, can you try these examples right here? Let me know how many of them you got correctly in the comment section. I'm going to put their answers at the end of the video. So check that out and let me know how many of them you got correctly in the comment section. Okay, so let's move on to the each other and one another controversy. Now, the reason I call it a controversy is because there are different opinions, different takes as to which should serve what purpose. Now, generally, each other and one another, that's the reciprocal pronouns, usually meant or mean the same thing. But in 1785, according to history, George N. Usher was the first to state that each other should be used when you're referring to two people, while one another should be used when you're referring to more than two people. Now, it can be confusing, especially looking at the fact that a lot of people have objected to that statement. They've objected to that opinion, saying that each other or one another should be used interchangeably. And you see a lot of writers and poets use it interchangeably. But some other people will tell you that when you're talking about two or more people, use each other or one another. But when you're talking about only two people, use each other. Now, to simplify it, what I do personally is, because I don't want headache, so what I do simply is, when I'm making reference to two different people, an action performed between two people, I use each other. And when I'm talking about more than two people, I use one another. And that makes it easy. So you can go by that rule if you're someone who doesn't like too much wahala. If someone who doesn't like too much headache like me, you can go by the rule. But if you use them interchangeably, you would not be wrong. You would be absolutely correct. But just to avoid the confusion and to make things simpler, you can go with each other for two people and one another for more than two people. I hope with this few points of mine, I've been able to convince and not to confuse you on how, or the dynamics between each other and one another. This is where we leave it today. Don't forget to answer the questions and let me know what was your score in the assignment I gave earlier. And please do not forget to subscribe, like, share, comment. And please watch my other videos here and here. I'll see you in any of those videos. Bye.